Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at the switch statement. So the other type of conditional statement we haven't seen in JavaScript is the switch statement. So the switch statement basically works the same as having multiple else if statements, but we use switch statements because it makes our code more readable. The syntax to using a switch statement is a bit complicated. So we're going to have the word switch, and in parentheses we're going to have a variable, and in curly braces we're going to have different cases. So we're going to have case, let's say value 1, and we're going to have some code. Then we're going to have a break statement. Then we can have another case with value 2. Then again we're going to have some other code, then a break statement, and we can also have a default case that is going to run when none of the cases apply. So we're going to have some code here, and finally we can close our switch statement. So what happens here is that our variable, the value of our variable, is going to be checked with each case. So if the value of our variable is the same as value 1, then the code inside the case value 1 gets executed. If it's equal to value 2, then the code inside value 2 gets executed. And then finally, when none of them match, then the default case is executed. Now we have break statements inside our cases, and I'm going to explain why we need those break statements once we write out our code. So now let's look at the switch statement. So we're going to have a variable and we're going to initialize it to 1. And then we're going to have a switch statement, which is going to take in the variable I. Then we're going to have different cases. So the first case we're going to have is case 1. So when I is equals to 1, then we want to console.log the word 1. Then we're going to have our break statement. Then we're going to have another case for case 2. Then we're going to have console.log the word 2. Then a break statement, and finally we're going to have our default case. When none of the cases match, then we want console.log not found. So what is going to happen here, since I is equals to 1, that is going to go to case 1 and it's going to print out the word 1 and it's going to quit our switch statement. So we can save our file and run it. As you can see, we get the word 1. Now if we changed our variable to 2 and saved our file, and now we get the word 2. And if we chose a number other than 1 and 2, let's say 10, and saved our file and run it, the default case gets executed and we get not found. Now let's see why the break statements inside the cases are important. So let's just return I back to 1, and let's just remove the break statement inside case 1, so we can just comment it out. Now if we save our file, our expected output is console.log1, so we're going to get the word 1. Now if we run our file, we actually get the word 1 and 2. That is because we don't have our break statement. So we're going to console.log1, then it immediately goes to case 2 and it console.logs 2. Now the break statement is important, so once we console.log1, then we want to break out of the switch statement. That is why we use the break statement. Finally, we actually don't need a break statement for the default case. That is because usually our default case is going to be our final case, so there's not going to be any other cases beneath the default. So we don't need a break statement there. And this has been the basics of the switch statement in JavaScript. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to show your support.